So let's get started. I will be reviewing The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the original N64 and re-release of the Nintendo GameCube. The original Legend of Zelda was released on December 11th of 98. I was 8 years old. Alright, so anyways, it was originally developed from Nintendo 64 and was released in a cartridge, which is the largest cartridge Nintendo based produced company in the world, I'm guessing. But Ocarina of Time is like a fifth game to the Legend of Zelda series. It's got 3D graphics. It's 18 months after its release by the direct sequel to Majora's Mask. Bet you guys didn't know that. Let's see here. So basically, the development of the game took a very long time for its release because this is the first actual Zelda game that is in 3D, believe it or not. And you know, it was going to be released for a different system, I think the Dreamcast, but that was tons of bullshit. But anyways, the player controls the series' trademark hero, Link, in the land of Haru. Link sets out on a quest to stop Ganondorf, the guy that runs and steals Princess Zelda all the time, king of the Gerudo tribe, from basically obtaining the Triforce. It's a secret relic that grants the wishes of its holder, and then Link travels through time and navigates various dungeons to awaken sages who have the power to seal Ganondorf away forever. Sorry, I'm thinking of the Sandlot. Music plays an important role in this game. The player must learn to play and perform several different songs on the Ocarina. Quote, the game is called Ocarina of Time. Let's get into the plot of the game, which I just said. You know, you're Link, you're a fairy boy. You have to go to the castle, save Princess Zelda from Ganondorf and his minions, and go through dungeons, get the Triforce back, and save your princess. Let's get into the involvement of the gameplay. Basically, it's an action-adventure role-playing puzzle game. It has a couple of role-playing elements, but it has more of puzzle elements to be exact. You control Link. It's in third-person perspective, so remember that. It has three-dimensional space on it, which I really don't care. The equipment that you wield is a sword and a shield, but when you're first Kid Link, you start off with a really shitty wooden sword. So, as you progress through the game, your weapons on your menu, you could go through bombs, magic spells, different swords. You can customize your swords, and for that time, customizing swords is pretty cool. And there's also a thing called Z-targeting in combat. Z-targeting is done with the L button instead of the Z button due to the position of the Z button on the GameCube controller and Classic controller. It's basically you lock onto an enemy, doesn't matter what enemy it is, it could be a boss, it could be just a regular enemy that's coming after you. There's multiple tasks to assign to one button, so basically the on-screen display shows what will happen to the button if the button's pushed. Exploration, is another important role into the Zelda game. Every gameplay that you play in this game is covered with areas, and return later to find them are more explorable from obtaining a new item. So basically, you're going through dungeons, you beat a dungeon, you can go back later in the game and replay it. That's why I'm saying it has a lot of replayability. Link gains new abilities by collecting items and weapons found in dungeons or the thing that's called Overworld. And don't worry guys, Ocarina of Time has side quests. For all those who have a fetish with side quests, there's minor objectives the player could choose to complete or ignore. Basically, it's a choice game. But completing the side quests usually results to getting rewards. Normally is the form of like weapons, abilities, different armor, items, all these different variations of gameplay inside the dungeons. Later, Link in the game as adult Link can receive an item in combat is called two-headed, if I'm pronouncing this right, Bilgon Sword. And you also get Epona, your horse. In order to get Epona, Link must learn her song from his Ocarina while he is in child. So basically, you go back and forth, you pull the Master Sword, you go 7 years into the future. However, you're only able to ride her when you're an adult. Sad thing. Navi is another thing. Navi is basically your fairy in Ocarina of Time. In the beginning of the game, she wakes you up, tells you have to save the princess, and then you go to your adventure. You have to go to the Temple of Time, pull the Master Sword from its pedestal after you get 3 crystals. Okay, basically I've covered all of that and the gameplay. I've spoken about the development, now the soundtrack. The soundtrack to the Ocarina of Time was produced back in Japan of '98. It comes with 82 tracks, and basically half of the songs you have to learn in your Ocarina. You have to slowly learn them throughout level progression of the game, which is pretty freaking cool. I like that, learning the different songs, because it's freaking awesome. The more songs you learn, the more dungeons you can open, the more gates you can open. Things I did not like about this game. I have no complaints about this game. This game was one of the best games I've ever played on the Nintendo 64 system. However, one dungeon that I really fucking hate with my guts, and I'm sure everyone who's played this game will agree with me. Dun dun dun, drum roll. The Water Temple. The Water Temple is one of the most annoyingest freaking goddamn, I don't know how to put it into words, fucking dungeons I hate with a passion. Every other dungeon, the Forest Temple, not the Water Temple, Great Bay Temple, I don't even goddamn remember the stupid temples, but all I remember is the Temple of the Water is a fucking pain in the ass. Reason being is because on the N64 version, you had to keep pressing the pause menu to put your iron boots on, and then you had to keep taking them on and off. GameCube, same fucking shit. I don't know if it's changed for the 3DS version, because I haven't played the 3DS version, but the Water Temple was the pain in the ass. I fucking hated the temple with so much passion. You had to keep going back and forth underwater, going this, doing that. It's just really fucking annoying. But overall, the game was excellent, a masterpiece in its own hands. I mean, all the different characters you come across, they're just different. You know, you fight, you swipe your sword, and I love after you beat the three beginning dungeons as a child, you could go back and forth from. No, I take that back. After you beat the Forest Temple, you could go back and forth as Kid Link to Adult Link. All you have to do is go to the Temple of Time, pull the sword from its pedestal, you jump 7 years into the future, and you turn into Old Link. You could put the sword back into the pedestal, you go 7 years back, and you're back to being around, I think, 13 years old. And that's another thing I like about the game. After you beat the game, you have a lot of replayability. You have the ability to go and find different items, treasure chests. Another thing I'd like to point out, when you're in the dungeons and in the temples, you gain access to treasure chests. In order to receive the treasure chest and the treasure inside of it, you must complete a task, basically defeating an enemy, defeating a puzzle, trying to figure out a puzzle. After that, you get the compass, you get a map, and you get the keys in order to progress to the boss level. The Great Deku Tree is the easiest tutorial temple in the beginning of the game. And then it just gets harder and harder. But overall, I'd give this game a 9 out of 10. Or no, I take that back, a 10 out of 10. This game is a masterpiece. Besides the Water Temple hating it, I adore this game. I will show this game in the future to my kids or whatever. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Whity Ultimate Chance. He's the one that got me to the idea of reviewing, and I would like to thank you, Whity. You're a big inspiration to me, and we'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully you guys like my video game review. Peace out and happy gaming.